Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Off Camera Podcast. This is TC, and we are here to preview Singapore. We're back at the OG night race, and damn, what a fucking, what a time 1 week feels now in F1. Ever since we've started, the more races we get on the calendar, it feels like every single time we have a week off, it's like, shit. Why is there no F1 this weekend? Why is there no F1 weekend? Which is crazy. But we're back in the OG night race in Singapore. And damn, it's been a good few weeks. Previous races in F1, I've been out of action, MIA. And obviously off the back of Baku, we see a revitalized championship battle. I mean, Piastri with an absolutely colossal fuck up, and he is allowed, well, not him himself, but McLaren with their poor car, really their poor straight line car, has allowed Verstappen to, jam a finger in the door, to leave it open for him to make a late charge. And that's obviously the burning question on everyone's mind. But is he in the hunt? Look, realistically, no. I mean, it would take a fuckload of mistakes from McLaren for Verstappen to be in the hunt, but it is definitely possible. If any single person on the grid can make a comeback like this, it's Verstappen. So I would never count him out. I'll say that, but not probable. But damn, what a weekend for Piastri. He's got to go down as probably one of the worst weekends for a championship leader I've ever seen. I mean, the scenes when he just binned it. I thought the car had broke, but that's behind us now. He's got to look ahead and keep going. Singapore now. Let's get into the track rating. For me, it's an OG. It's an 8 out of 10. It's one of the OG street circuits. It introduced night racing, and it's a phenomenal challenge for the drivers. Lots of variation in terms of corners, but a lot of 90 degrees, which, if this Red Bull has found some pace, this is where it's quick in the straight line braking and those 90 degree turns. So it'll be interesting. Now, an 8 out of 10, one of the OG tracks. The OG street tracks, that is. And yeah, it's been always good. It's a spectacle. It's a challenge for the drivers because of the humidity. We always see images of the drivers, hopping out of their cars and shit. It is insane. And, even in the media pen afterwards of the race, how deprived everyone is of energy. Also, we have a mandated cooling system for all the drivers, which is, I think, a great thing. Obviously, giving someone the choice to save weight, to be extremely uncomfortable, is probably too tough of a decision to force upon the drivers. So just, making it mandated across the board just removes that completely. So good stuff, FIA there. Now, weather's been in question. I don't know if you've been on TikTok or any of the social media platforms. You're seeing footage of downpours at the track in the build-up to the weekend. So very interested to see what's going to happen there. We will be watching closely because we know 2017 had a wet start and we know how that went for Ferrari. But we'll be watching closely, and I think that if it is a wet race, there's a good chance that it'll be a red flag fest like qualifying in Baku. Because when it pours, it freaking pours in Singapore. So, yeah, I don't know what will happen, but we'll see. The tyres, let's move on to the tyres. The C3, C4, and C5 for the weekend, same as last year. There has been some track resurfacing, though. So, I'm getting the feeling that it's probably going to just be that one stop, with low deg, newly resurfaced tracks. We often just see the cars being able to just go on forever. I was looking at the Pirelli report though, and they were talking about how the tyre, they could have gone to C6, even softer, but they were worried about the overheating with the humidity. So, but I don't know about that, honestly. Like, in my opinion, I'd put them on that challenge. Like, I'd want them to have the fear of, like, almost you need to get closer to that edge of, shit, is something going to happen to the tyres, so that we can get a race that's filled with different and good strategy. So I thought that would have been a good decision, but they're focusing on safety, so fair enough. Can't say anything to that. Now, TC's predictions for the weekend. Verstappen for pole. He's going to be back on pole. I think the Red Bull potentially has found a bit of pace. Not saying that they'll be quickest at every track for the rest of the year, but I think there's going to be a better chunk of tracks that they're going to be quick at. And Verstappen is just a master at circuits like this. So I think he's going to pole it, but I don't think they're going to have the race pace. I think they're going to struggle with Tydeg, and that is obviously going to be at the expense of the McLarens, who are going to dominate the race. And Piastri is going to win. So Piastri, after his shit weekend in Baku, he's going to come back and just be like on it every lap, everything. He'll be on it and he'll win. Alonso for class drive, a veteran to take the challenge and take the humidity well. I think the Aston's been good recently, and he should do well. That's my prediction for class drive and run wide. Look, mainly because of the car, but Colapinto is going to be average as shit because the Alpine is just a terrible car and it's not going to improve. So his, Singapore being such a hard circuit, demanding physically, I think that he's gonna suffer the consequences. So Colapinto for run wide. So those are the predictions. Let's just quickly, before we end it, let's just talk about what's the team's expectations a little bit. So McLaren, as I said, although this may not be their quickest style of circuit with the straight line braking, it still is a lot of there is a lot of medium speed corners which they will excel at, and they'll also likely excel at that tyre deck in the race. So that's where I've got them edging out Verstappen, Red Bull, Verstappen really. But Red Bull, I do, as I said before, I think they found some pace in the car, so they'll be good. Ferrari, who knows, man? We also got the sad news of Roscoe's passing, so condolences to Lewis there. Hopefully he has a bounce back weekend and kills it. Mercedes, I think they'll thrive in warmer conditions. They usually do. So I think Russell is due for a good weekend. He's been one of the best drivers all year. And then Sainz and Williams and Albon. I feel like this is sort of like a home track for Albon, and he always does well here. So I'll be looking at him. And the Sauber, man, they had good pace, but the last few races, they haven't been there. And I think they've got a chance to make some ground and score some points because these other teams like Racing Bulls and Aston and Williams have been taking the charge in the midfield. So super keen to see what happens. The weekend's underway. Practice tonight. I'm so fucking keen. And yeah, we'll see how the predictions go, and we'll dig into it all on Monday. So look forward to seeing you guys then. Have a good weekend.